I hope you guys are excited as me for Act 3 as it's now here in all its splendor. With new skins, a map, and an agent, there's going to be a lot more fresh content to explore with Valorant. What is up guys, Trey here and welcome back to another ProGuides video. Today's video is going to be all about the new map, Icebox. Icebox is the newest map addition to Valorant coming in Act 3, patch 1.10. This new map takes place in an abandoned kingdom research facility somewhere in the Arctics, hence, all the ice around. First impressions are that it's fairly complex map design. There's a lot of verticality implemented and creative pathing you can go to get on each site. Fantastic. This is exactly what players were complaining about with Valorant's map designs. And as always, Riot delivers on this new 5th map. They never miss, aside from Split, of course. So before we tour the map, I want to ask you our question of the day, which is, what new weapon skin catches your fancy? For me, it's between the Ruined Knife and the Singularity Phantom. I think they both look pretty awesome, but the effects on the Phantom take it over the top for me. I may or may not be opening my wallet in the near future. Who knows? Let me know what you guys think is the best skin in Valorant in the new act, and which skin you guys would get in the comments down below. Alrighty, let's start things off with a little bit of defense, shall we? Middle is up first, and you never want enemies to take middle easily on any map, as the opponent will have a lot more options in how they want to split towards each site. Icebox is no different. For Icebox, middle is pretty much conjoined with site B, so those players will have to work together for a successful hold. A standard default we'll probably be seeing would be like a 2-2-1. 2 players holding inside the A site while having 2 players hold mid and a sentinel solo holding B, similar to Split. You mainly want your operator sitting on boiler, which is this mid-ramp thingy overseeing mid. This is an ideal position with great lines of sight until you start getting smoked out. Then you'll probably have to switch it up by dropping through down the smoke or going towards the left side opening in order to hold the angle. Your other mid player should probably be playing near B oranges underneath the tube. Beneath the ramp tube, there's a slight opening where enemies can sneak through, and you'll want to be on the lookout for any rats trying to swarm through. Depending on how they smoke, you need to be more creative with how you'll position, but with the pathing on this map, there's a lot of unique places you can hold from. If you're playing characters like Omen, Raze, or Jet, there's a lot of verticality you can use to catch your opponent off guard. I'll show you an example right here next to B oranges where there's a container with the door swung open. You can use this for a nasty off-angle watching mid and fall off after a kill. Be on the lookout for these prime positions that will give you a big advantage and net you easy kills. An aggressive play you can also do here middle, as the B orange player could be smoking deep and pushing up. Right here close to the tube, there's a great choke to smoke out as a controller agent. Getting that deep smoke means containing the mid push and forcing them somewhere else on the map. By doing so, you receive a lot of information you can relay to the team where the enemy is going. Relieving this pressure mid means your kitchen player can go help out B more. Definitely try this aggressive mid smoke and maybe try and make a play around it by pushing through it when you hear enemies leave. Don't do it too often though, as you might just hint repeatedly. Moving on to the B site, it's very important you have a sentinel position here. In terms of scale compared to the other maps, this is the largest B site we've ever seen, and there's a lot of space for both sides to work with. On defense though, you definitely need information here. I can see both Cypher and Killjoy working wonders here with all the information gathering and zone control tools in their arsenal. The B anchor will have to decide whether to play further up towards B green, holding that corridor, or conceding more space and playing further back for a retake. I would like to mention I think retaking on this site is a lot easier compared to the A site. Since B is more open and there's a lot more lines of sight, retaking will be a valid strategy for defense on the site. It would be like Haven B where once attackers get onto site, defenders are retaking from A-con, C-con, and also flank from either garage, C-long, or window. An example retake on Icebox would be to have your B player maybe back up to Snowman. Have your second mid player rotate through the kitchen to the halls, and have your mid player rotate to hold B tube from kitchen. The positioning could differ, as having an operator near Snowman could also be a very effective strategy as well. I can already see Killjoy's lockdown being devastating on this retake. It will completely clear your opponents off the site and allow a lot of space for your team to get in. Keep that in mind if your B holds are failing because you're too far up. Maybe you should try switching up and playing retake by being a little bit more passive. Nothing wrong with a little coordinated retake action. For the A site, interesting to note, this is the only A site that is indoor out of all 5 maps. It is also interesting that even though it is indoors, it doesn't feel cramped at all. There's so much space to work with in terms of not as many chokes to go through, many places to hide, as well as the repeating theme of more verticality. Raze, Omen, and Jet will excel on both sides on Icebox. There's so many places you can go where you'll catch your opponents off guard. Soon enough, when you master the elevation, you'll be telling them, "It's over. I have the high ground." Something to mention on the defending side is that there is also a rope leading to Sniper's Nest in the middle of the site. In that Sniper Nest above, there is also a zipline connecting to the attacker's side Sniper Nest. This is the unique mechanic of this map, a zipline leading across the side of A. This might be pretty useful in a 1v1 situation, as you might be able to play some big mind games with your opponents, but way too risky on a 5v5 situation. There are some tricks you can do with the zipline though. As soon as you tap the zipline, they'll probably peek out at you, and that's your time to end them. Other than that, this really isn't Apex, so don't try to zipline, as you'll probably get shot down out of the sky pretty quickly. You can jump off of it though, which makes for some interesting scenarios. Let's say you drop some smokes down on some important angles, you might be able to take the zip halfway and drop like a paratrooper. If you're Jet 2, you can probably risk it and dash to safety if you don't die instantly. Well, never mind, just stay away from that thing, it's such a bait. Don't do it. Remember what I said about having a good mid-hold that helps a lot for your defense? Well, on attack, you want to dismantle the opponent's middle. You want to find holes in their defense you can slip through to create multiple angles you can attack from. This all stems with a good smoke. Omen is ideal for this map, as his smokes are a little bit wider in diameter and cover off these wide angles like ramp on mid boiler. Also, he has a shrouded step which allows him to get to unexpected angles to peek. An example for this is to smoke mid blue close to the tube and TP on top of the tube to be able to peek mid and also into B oranges. This is really nice for gathering info and maybe catching an opponent off guard for a pick. For this map specifically, mid pretty much only leads to B unless you get really deep position into mid somehow. If by chance that somehow happens and you sneak past their defenses, you can flank the A defenders to the right or try to kill somebody on ramp near the boiler and start a B split. Very hard to do unless you manage to get an opening pick mid. For the most part, by smoking out mid and gaining control of it, it'll probably be easier to work into a B split and increase your chance of winning the round. Like I said just previously, when attacking the B site, you'll definitely want good control over mid. By obtaining mid, you can choose either to try to work your way up tube into kitchen, which will give you some nice vantage points to clear B with, or you can try to smoke a little bit deeper and try to go through B oranges. This is probably more risky, but with a nice split and good smokes, this should be doable. Here's an example. Send 2 going up to clear tube together and 2 going through B oranges after the kitchen is cleared, with the last remaining guy on your team going through B long late to clear any stragglers there. That is a solid take. And actually, this reminds me, Skye would be really great here taking control of tube with her utility. Either using Trailblazer or Blind Light, it could cause the enemy holding kitchen to retreat, allowing easy access for Skye and her team. Kinda neat, huh? Yeah, I'm kind of a Skye main myself, you know? By splitting, it makes it so much easier to take a site. Like if you send everyone towards B long, there is a chance that you get smoked out or run into mollies. The corridor at B long is very narrow, so there's a lot of utility that can be placed there to stop your push, as well as getting collateraled by bullets in such a cramped spot. I wouldn't advise that. Instead, I would focus more on obtaining mid control and splitting B using that mid control. Capiche? If you're planning to take A, you won't need to mine mid as much as you do B. Of course though, it's always nice to have default to kind of establish pressure across the map so it doesn't lead to fast rotations and sacks by the defending team. For A, there are 2 entrances near the attacker spawn you can go through. The one on the right leads to high ground, while the left entrance leads to lower. From the high ground, you can jump down to a lower spot, but it leaves you very vulnerable jumping down, so you want to cover these silent with smokes before making your way downtown. Through the left entrance, it takes you to low ground. When you walk a bit further out, you'll notice just like on defense, there's a rope leading into Sniper's Nest. This rope is seemingly safe from many angles, but there is one angle that is dangerous. That's if the opponent is standing directly in the opposing Sniper's Nest staring at the rope. As the defender, they can climb as soon as the round starts, so be wary of this. You might need to smoke it out if you want the high ground advantage to clear out lower angles. With the person nestled up in Sniper's Nest watching from above, it makes storming A so much easier as you'll have some aerial support. Paired with some good smokes, it'll make taking A a walk in the park. These are the smoke I recommend. One directly in front of A site and one to the left of A site, blocking spawn and rotation sightlines. I do have to warn you though, these smokes might not be as effective as you want them to be because of how much verticality is on the map. If you know they have certain characters that can get up to high places, make sure you're wary and on the lookout for them. Once you get onto site, there's so many good places for post plants. A is a lot harder to retake just because of how many different angles you have to clear when walking in. So if you're defending, just don't lose A. Simple. And that will wrap it up for our guide on Valorant's newest map edition, Icebox. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and learned how you guys can take your game to the next level on this new map. If you liked the video, I'd appreciate if you leave a like and subscribe, and possibly, even hit the notification bell button if you want to see more. Also, don't forget to answer our question of the day in the comment section below. We love reading your comments and feedback. Well, that'll be all for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, my name is Trey. Keep up the grind, fam.